What's going on, everyone? Hope you all having a great day. In this video, it's going to be a little bit of a different video. As you can probably tell, I did buy another new project car. The Miata has been long gone, and that was kind of, it was sad to let it go, but it was more of a helped us move over here as well. So it did fund a lot of stuff, and now we are back, but with something completely different. So without any further ado, this is my new, to me, 1981 Chevy Camaro. Now this Camaro, it doesn't run. In fact, I pulled it out of a guy's yard a couple weeks ago, and then I had to get back to work. But now is finally the time that we're able to actually go through this whole thing and see if it'll run and drive after sitting for who knows how long. Guy bought it before, had no info on it. So it's at least been sitting for a year, but we're estimating at least, I would say at least the past 10 years, so it's been sitting. I don't know the record of owners. I'm gonna say I'm like the third or fourth, probably more likely to be the fourth. This thing is actually what I've been looking for, almost. And I say almost because it doesn't have the exact engine that I wanted in it. I'm not gonna be too picky on it, but this car is going to have lots of potential. I really do feel like, and this is a project I've been wanting to do for a long time. And, it doesn't, not necessarily a Camaro, but something American muscle that hasn't been running and driving in a number of years. So this is going to be something new for me. This, to my knowledge, does not run and drive. Doesn't even have a battery. Doesn't do anything. I have no idea how old the gas is. It being a year old at least, I have no idea. We're not going to be testing with the gas in the car, because that's just going to be gross. I'm going to invite you to come a little closer, and we're going to really look into this and dive in to this 81 Camaro. All right, so at first glance, it's really not that bad of a car. The body is really straight. It does have this cool rust patina look that I was actually looking forward to. So on that side of things, not a lot is going to be changed about the outside appearance of it. We'll give you a really good closer look here in a bit, but what I was saying was not a desirable motor. I mean, for now, it's definitely going to give me what I want, and I'm not like upset about it. A little let down, but I'm not upset about it. This I am believing to be a 229, so it is a V6 Camaro, and I'm only confirming that because of how short it is, and it only has 6 plug wires. So I'm essentially confirming all of those details. I don't know much about these motors. I know a little bit more about 350s and 305s and stuff in that nature. This is going to be an interesting one. I did kind of mess with it a little when I first got the car. So, and by little, I mean I literally took the air cleaner off and just was poking around the whole thing. I didn't do anything. The only thing I made sure is when I was buying it, and before I even pulled it out of the pasture there, did make sure the motor turns out, or it spins. So the motor is not locked up. So that's good. I don't really have a order of operations or anything like that. I think what I'm going to do is put a battery in here, and I'm going to disconnect the main fuel for the carb, just kind of see what happens, see if it cranks. It was a little low in oil. I do have some testing oil that I'm gonna just throw down the app in this thing, and then when we find out that it's going to be a solid car, then I will change the oil. I got oil change stuff and everything like that. As far as getting it started, I just got some regular gas, nothing crazy. I know some guys like to put 2-stroke oil in there as well, just to kind of lube everything up. But I think if we put some fresh oil on top and some gas, in the carb, it'll be just fine. But yeah, the shopping list today, I had a budget, so I kind of went limited. Got oil change stuff, gas, and a battery. Which, for those of you buying batteries at O'Reilly's, I mean, I know some of the creators on here are sponsored by O'Reilly's, but I looked at the cheapest stuff they had with the side posts, $300, or at least $200, after tax. Not a fan, so I hit up the local Walmart and scooped a battery up for $80. So that's that. I think what we're gonna do is put a battery up, get you in a little closer of just how everything's looking in here. Just kind of give you a tour of everything, and we'll start seeing if it'll go. So let's get into it. Filming this on my phone because I didn't want to take the camera off the tripod, but I did see a little bit in the beginning there, but I just wanted to point out the interior before we get too crazy. But let me zoom out. Really not that bad. Got the normal stainage and everything, but that's fine. Don't have a radio. What's weird? No cup holders. I don't know when cup holders were I don't know when they got super popular. I'm gonna assume 10 years later. But it definitely had pretty nice paint at one point. I think just sitting forever outside obviously killed it. The interior does not even smell bad. Surprising. But this is all plastic. It got a little beat up, but whatever. The sun ate the boom boom box a long time ago. Isn't this cool? Blue on blue. Very, very 80s. Even kind of has the truck style, C10 style dash right there. Really like that a lot. Got the keys in it. This is automatic. You guys probably sniffed that out a long time ago. I'm actually not upset about that part. I was kind of hoping to get something, automatic, but this is nice. Because, I know you can never have too many manuals, but, I already got the manual Subaru. So something this is going to be a nice, really nice cruising to town vehicle here when we get it going. But I've already sat in this seat, sat in the interior a couple times. As you can see, there's lots of bees everywhere that need to get vacuumed up. This whole thing really needs to get vacuumed up. There's definitely those speakers back there were definitely aftermarket at some point. Got speaker wire going everywhere. The seats, all the rust on the rails and everything. The seats don't really like to move back and forth that much. They do the thing, but that's about it. No 18-way adjustable seats, because this ain't no Lincoln. But this thing is infested with bees. There's still lots and lots and lots of bees still in the bumpers and everything like that. Well, they're dead. There's just nests everywhere. Nothing in the trunk. Nothing's crazy in the trunk. There's literally nothing in the trunk. But let's dive in a little bit here. Okay, so off camera a little bit, I decided to try and mess with some of the fuel lines. It's definitely buried down in there. So until I know that it runs, then we can start kind of digging into this stuff. But for now, I think we're just gonna throw a battery in here and see if anything happens. I don't have any plan. I'll just be real. I'm going to throw a battery in it, put some gas and oil in it, and just see what happens. So let's go ahead and do that. This is the Walmart battery. So hopefully it all works out. As you can probably tell, or maybe not, I did jack the car up just so I can see everything. And it's a little easier, since we are in a garage, a little easier to work on and everything. So, let's see how this is going to work. I really hate lights are. Well, yeah, that should be connected. Not smelling anything dangerous. Let's see if we have anything. Not getting any light. I think we have a bad battery connection. Alright, this is take 2. I cleaned the power and everything off. And stuff is clicking on. And I have lights on the dash, but I don't think I have any. Yeah, I can tell. No lights up there. Well, let's see what happens. Interesting. Well, I think might have to still mess with some of the wiring over there. I think that battery is still not solidly connected, but I'll mess with that a little bit and then I'll see if it goes again. Alright, rolling on 2 cameras just in case. Mess with it a little bit more and just got some gas in a cup and it's just gonna go right there, Alright, I'm nervous. They've got lights. It runs. They've got lights. It runs. And it idled for a little bit, actually. Oh. I think the fuel pump works. I don't know if I should trust that gas, but woo, that was something. It idled. That's crazy. I did hear the pump run. Oh. Well, I think next is we put some oil in it, not change it quite yet, but put some oil in it, keep feeding it gas, and see what happens. Oh. Good news is I think the fuel gauge works and it's saying it's almost empty, so if there is stuff, then it's already almost gone. Well, that was amazing. Let's add some oil, add some more gas, and just see what happens. Okay, so change the oil. We're fast forwarding like an hour, so I took a break, celebrated a little bit with the wife, and now we're back. Change the oil. There's hardly any oil in it to begin with. It had a lot of gas in it, so not really surprised. But we're just gonna throw some of this mobile end down the hatch and just see what happens. That's good. That's just the theme of this video. Seeing what happens. Luckily, I only had to buy. Excuse those noisy neighbors, but luckily I only had to buy one of these jugs and not like one jug plus a cord or whatever. It's gonna take most of this, but since it fired so quickly, without much effort, definitely deserved an oil change. I was gonna play around with the oil a little bit. Just to see what happens with the other oil and whatnot, but it'll be fine. I'm gonna put just a splash more. That'll be perfect. Burn a hole in the cup. I forgot gas could do that. All right. See if we still have everything. We still have everything. Yeah, I don't know. Surprised the oil. I mean, it probably was on the oil light, but fire in a hole. We're making smells now. Way too much, but do want to. Well, something's not working as it should, clearly. I don't know what.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Would make it. That pulley sounded awful. Oh. but yeah, that pulley sounded awful. Keys off. Huh. Well, I'm gonna do some things, and I'll catch up with the video here, and when I'm done researching. All right, so I think I lied. I don't think I'm gonna do a part one. This is definitely not gonna drive for other reasons I'll get to in either this video or next video, but it should. We should at least get to idle in this video. You know, just kind of thinking about it. So I was, why we're at the rear of the car, you might ask? Well, because there's no gas in it. And by no gas, I mean there's a little bit of kind of rusty kind of water looking thing at the bottom of the tank. Or it's probably extremely old gas. So it's probably not water, probably extremely old gas. But I stuck the scope in there, stuck a borescope in there, and I mean the tank was basically completely bone dry except for one little spot. So the tank actually looks brand new. It's not like all rusted out or anything like that. So I mean that's a huge plus. So a guy was at Walmart, and you know I was looking for other things, of course, but I was in the automotive section and I stumbled upon this like little siphoner for like $4. So I was like, well, might as well give it a try here. This should pump, you know, if there is a little bit of liquid in there, this thing should do the trick. And so I'm just gonna put the whole thing in there and then just see what happens. Well, you kind of see something on the very end, but nothing's really coming through. Just kidding. I don't see anything. That was an illusion. It smells like old gas in there, but one side definitely seems longer. So just as an extra safety precaution, I guess, I did just a double check, and I'm really not seeing anything in there. So I think we're gonna go ahead and just send it. There's about three or so gallons in there. Probably closer to, actually I don't know, probably closer to 2. But now we are going to, this is what I'm going to do. Going to connect the fuel line back up, at least the one to the pump, and crank on it, see what happens, see if it squirts anything out, and then kind of go from there. Make sure the fuel pump was working, and then if it does, then connect it up to the carb, and then yeah, go from there. I guess so. That's I'm gonna turn the camera off. We're gonna do that. I'll catch back up with you. I'm hoping we get some action here. Fuel pump works. Wow, that was quite the explosion. So there is definitely enough gas in there. So now, that's awesome. Woo! So glad the fuel pump works. So now we're gonna cook up that line. I already checked for clogs. We're gonna shoot it up in the carburetor. I gotta clean the filter out, or just, it wasn't dirty, but my dirty fingerprints got all over it. So gotta clean that up. We're going to throw everything back in there, and we should be good. This is getting exciting now. So let me do that. Got this, at least on the inside, cleaned on as much as possible. The inside, the outside, it is what it is. But we should be good. I honestly forgot how it was routed before. I bet there's a lot of you that are out there that are watching a video and you know what the problem is, and before the guy making the video sees the problem, and then you're virtually like, move over, let me do it. I know it, I can see it. I get those moments from time to time. How the fitting on this side is. Alright. So we should be cooking, at least now. As long as I can get the right wrench. Alright. So now we should be good. And you're probably asking yourself the whole time, man, dude, why the gloves now? The last time I was working on it, no gloves. Even at work, most of the time, I'm raw dogging it a lot. Well, I don't know. Sometimes I get really tired of having grime and dirt just like essentially embedded in my fingertips. So today I was like, well, let's switch it up a little bit. Fire in the hole, but hopefully it's gonna take a minute, and firing. That noise is always very concerning. Because oh man. Massive leak. From the base. Did I forget a fitting? Take 593, only gonna crank a little until I'm not gonna crank enough till I let it fire, but we're almost there. Dang it. We're still leaking pretty good. Alright, big, huge update time. In fact, let me just move this out of the way. We're free balling right now. Okay, So big update is that the fuel leak is not coming from the line itself, but I think there's like a crack in the fitting on the fuel pump. So, because the leak is happening below the line and it looks like it's coming out of like the fuel pump body. Try and maybe get a picture of what's happening. There's just so much junk in the way. Let me try and zoom. But clearly when it's under pressure, that's leaking pretty bad. But, okay. Let me zoom this back out. Sorry if it's really shaky. I'm trying to do my best here. So, I'm actually having to remove a lot of stuff to get better clearance. There's like a bracket way the heck in there that's like kind of behind this pulley, and all this fun stuff, just so I can get access to the fuel pump, just so I can take it out and remove it and go to the store and get a new one. But when we first had that initial fire up and I kept it running with the start and juice, which I know it's not like the best thing in the world, but I wanted to see what they can do. So it sounds like there's obviously a couple of pulleys in here that need attention, and I only was running it off of the crank, water pump, alternator, and I just don't know what this one is. I can't think of it, but it looks like it has a connection right there. It goes up to like this vacuum system. So this, honestly, this could be a vacuum pump, but I mean, it sounds pretty rough. I don't know if you can hear that, but I probably need to replace that eventually. But I actually think I figured it out just now using logic. I think that's a vacuum pump. But let me know in the comments, because I'm really curious, since this is, I believe, a 229 or 3.8 liter V6. So yeah, I've just been jamming for hours. I've been really just putting the garage away, because I know what's wrong now. Putting the garage away. Just trying to get to a good point of where I can kind of stop and really focus on getting that out, just so I can go to the O'Reilly's and be like, give me this exact part, please. And yeah, all that fun stuff. Putting a shopping list together of all the things I need, so that when we come back, when a whole bunch of stuff comes in, then we'll be able to drive it. It needs a yoke. That's the big thing. Is I have a drive shaft all the way over there, and with the floating U-joint, so the U-joint doesn't have a home. And the part that I'm missing, I was underneath the car a couple of days ago, just kind of looking at everything, and at the end of the differential, it's missing the yoke. So I need a yoke to at least get it moving. Fuel pump, and kind of go from there. Sounds like I need a vacuum thing, or a vacuum pulley, but might just buy a whole pump. It might actually be cheaper just to get the whole pump. But I have kind of went through and deleted some of the AC lines, because they're just in the way, and I get it. I know I live in Boise, and there's we're in a desert. It's going to be hot, but I don't really care. I want this engine bay to be as clean as possible. But yeah, I think I'm going to try and get the at least to where I can get to the fuel pump tonight, and then kind of call it. But that's kind of my big update. I might update you one more time to see where I'm at, and that'll probably be it, because I need to edit this video and start getting it out and all that stuff, because you guys don't even know I even have this car yet. I've posted nothing about it. I've had it for like 2 weeks now. So, anywho's, I'll see you when I see you. So yeah. All right, a lot of sweat, coolant, and fuel later. You might be wondering, coolant, why did you even mess with the coolant? Good question. Well, in order to get a instrument to get under the fuel pump, right here, you have to remove a bracket, and to remove a bracket you have to shimmy a coolant line, the lower, in fact, not just any coolant line, the lower radiator hose is perfectly in the way of 2 bolts for the bracket on the underneath the vacuum pump. I'm still thinking that's a vacuum pump, but I could be wrong. But yeah, so I had to take the coolant hose off because there's a spring in there so it keeps its shape. So I can't just push it out of the way to get those 2 bolts out. So it made a gigantic coolant mess everywhere. Good thing I have a cat because I'm going to use kitty litter to get all this up. But as you can see, very, very dirty, but got it done. Now there is indeed, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but you might. But there is a crack right along here. So my guess, besides the yoke missing, it's probably a good indication of why this car was parked. But again, I have no idea. This is actually the first time doing a mechanical fuel pump. So I will get one of these ordered. Because I have a bunch of stuff that I need to order as well. You know, I made a big long list, but clutch fan, or the clutch for the fan, look into that vacuum pump issue, or at least like the pulley for it, or the clutch for it. I don't know anything about it. I might not even worry about it just yet. Got to get a yoke and a bunch of other things that I can't think of at the moment. But I mean, yeah, besides the crack, it was definitely time to do something about it, because the gasket in here doesn't look like it was being a gasket anymore. But the engine side looks really clean, so that makes me really happy. But you know, taking the pulleys and brackets off and everything like that, now I have an excuse to kind of clean everything. But so unfortunately, I didn't get it to idle, just because of a hiccup, and you know, I'm just running out of time for filming this video and everything. I'm trying to upload every Friday if possible. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at on it. We figured out a problem and we're going to solve it. And you know, made a gigantic mess along the way. But hey, you know, this is what project cars are for. You know, I still have my Subaru, so that is my daily. So you know, that's awesome. But yeah, I think that'll wrap it up for today's episode. If you've made it this far, please consider giving a like, and while you're down there, hitting that subscribe button will really help me out a bunch. And I think that's all I got for you. So I'll see you in the next one. Later. Oh, by the way, if you haven't, I know I probably plugged it in the video. Merch down there below. Have a good one.